Hey, Dr. T here. For those of you who don't know how my week works, Tuesdays are my CEO day, which means I am creating all day. I'm writing, I'm creating in the next thing that we're going to launch, the ideas, all of the things that happen in my heart. That's what I do on Tuesdays. And so I reevaluated yesterday and I wanted to come in before the energy moves through and before I start adjusting again tomorrow. But yesterday was a day that was probably like a lot of them. But I remembered once I left what I felt like in those moments. And I just want to share some of the things that people mentioned after they got adjusted. And when they talked about this, it wasn't that it was talked about in a desperate way. You got adjusted and you're like, oh my God, thank God, thanks for fixing me. It wasn't that at all. One gal said, it feels like a rebirth. Like I have been waiting for this all weekend. Every single time I get adjusted, I can lay there for 5 minutes. I can't lay at home and calm down for 5 minutes. But after every single adjustment, it feels like a rebirth. And this person is like a young adolescent. So there hasn't been a lot of life under her belt and it still feels like poof. Another person said, I feel like there are possibilities now. I didn't feel like there was even hope. Another person said, I got in the car, I cried, and then I thought like the energy of me felt like magic. She's like, I called my mom, called my brother, and how do you explain that to somebody without thinking you're freaking nuts? And what was the other one? I wrote them down. The other person said it feels like I'm free. So this isn't what normal people would say after they get adjusted, right? They would say, oh, thanks, my back feels better. But what I want to talk about is the difference in chiropractors that look at safety first, safety in the neurological system. Safety in the neurological system creates safety in the body. And if we have safety in the body and the social engagement system, now we can have safety with somebody else. And so I really think the difference with me adjusting, Healing Touch Chiropractic, what I've noticed is that safety happens before the miracles and the magic happen. And without that, we cannot grow, we cannot heal, we cannot change. And one of my mentors, Don and Brandy McDonald, just posted last week. They said, without safety in chiropractic, or I'm a coach and a mentor too, without safety in anything, it just becomes therapy. So many times after the new patient consultation or after, I don't know, any program, any masterclass that I put on, I will get messages over and over and over and over and say that was better than my therapy, than my mental health therapy. And what I believe that means is there hasn't been neurological safety that has been created. And we haven't, as the provider, as me, I haven't helped that person engage and create a different mindset for what's possible. Because truly, if you don't believe that there's something on the other side of this situation, if you don't believe that your responsibility to where you're at and my responsibility as a chiropractor, as a doctor, as a mentor, as a whatever, all the things I am, if we don't believe that we can make more magic together, then it just becomes therapy. You just go to the chiropractor then to get your knee adjusted so it doesn't hurt for 2 more days. Guys, there's so much more to it. Yesterday, I told my team afterwards, there aren't very many mind-blowing days like this that I feel like, I'm talking as fast as I'm talking right now. But I talked to them about a patient that was just in. And she has chronic issues and she has acute issues. She's been in the ER. She's had, for a young human, has had so many tests that have been normal. And so looking at her website, reading the reviews, she called and she talked to Cal at the front and said, like, this is the place we need to be. This is the only place that I've seen that looks at the whole body, not just the head or not just the stomach or not just infertility or not just allergies, but like what is happening to the whole body. And she got her first adjustment last Thursday. And yesterday she said, I could not wait to get here to tell you, Tiff, that I didn't have any symptoms last weekend. You guys, I didn't have any symptoms last weekend. Hasn't been able to eat, hasn't been able to function, hasn't been obviously normal. It's been highly medicated, scared out of her mind. Imagine what happens to the family household when this happens, especially in a young person. And yesterday she said, I couldn't wait to tell you, Tiff, but I've hardly had a symptom. And so Lindy and Callan looked at me like, wow. And what they said, which is what I said too, is like, how does this work? All I know is that I never see limits when I'm adjusting you. I never see, well, this person can only go here. I don't ever see that. And when I feel that feeling usually is because there's a limit in them. There's a limit in their mindset. There's a limit in their home. There's a limit in their beliefs. There's a limit in their ability to want to maybe commit to themselves and go all in. But that isn't a limit that I would ever see. So when we work with people that see something beyond what we can even see, that see a vision that is so much freaking greater than they could have ever imagined. Because when they come in for allergies, when you come in for infertility, my dogs are barking, sorry. When you come in for all of these other things, my question is yeah, but what happens when that changes? You're going to stop chasing all this shit. You're going to stop chasing the chaos because you haven't ever felt good. What happens when you start to feel different and feel great? Can you imagine what happens in your mind, which is why they say it feels like a rebirth. It feels like something that I've never felt before. It feels like a freaking miracle. It feels like magic. It's not. It's science and it's art. But the X factor is energetics. The X factor is safety. Because if I wasn't attuned to their energy, then I wouldn't know what safe feels like, and I wouldn't know what unsafe feels like in the brain, in the body, because that will never heal. The body will never heal unless it's safe. The brain doesn't heal when it's safe, because the opposite of safety is survival. So if you feel like you're in survival, and what I say, the majority of most people walking in my doors for sure for the first time, 99% of them, 100% of them are in some state of survival, even the 2-year-old children. So if we know this, and if we know the body, it cannot be in safety and survival at the same time, the transition from survival to safety is actually what creates a freaking magic. That's when I'm like, how does this work? I love this. Wow, continue to be so profound that even and I've seen, I would say, hundreds of thousands of miracles. Even me yesterday, I was like, oh my God. To be able to be that space, that there's that opportunity for people. And frankly, in the moment, I'm like, I don't even talk about this very much. So how is the layperson supposed to ever know that it's possible? You can go to the website, htchiro.com. You can read the 100 amazing reviews that no, I didn't bribe anybody to write, and see it for yourself and witness what's possible. Because when we can start to see where possibility is, that is the other side of where you're at. When you see what's possible, when I can show you what is possible and ask you questions as to what's possible, the sky isn't even the freaking limit. So I had to come here, and I looked at my eyes most of the time, and my eyes are like this because I think the magic of this work in deep, meaningful healing for people is that I'm constantly challenged in what I believe is possible, which is way far beyond what people believe is possible for themselves. And so I just hold a potentiality vision for you that will never be a limit and will always be an expansion. So that's an adjustment. That's from the words of other people, not me. And that's the miracles that get to happen every day. So I just wanted to share, and my dogs say the UPS guy's here.